Oh, am I happy to go out to the Colorado Discount Heating and Cooling Hotline and welcome in the reigning Stanley Cup champion head coach.
I love that word. The reigning champion.
Jared Bednar with us. Coach, always good to talk to you. Saw that you guys got the rings yesterday. Looked like a good time. How does it feel? How does the ring feel when you put it on?
Yeah, it feels good, yeah. Like you would expect it to. Yeah, they were beautiful. I thought our ownership and design team did an amazing job on these rings. And pretty emotional night last night, to be honest with you. You know, even just watching the videos back from, last spring and just kind of taking it all in with all the guys that were there. It was and families and stuff. It was pretty emotional, but it was a great night, and the rings are beautiful. And you know, it's kind of like the last thing to sort of put last year behind us and turn the page and get ready here for the season coming up in front of us here, starting with Chicago.
I was thinking about that, Coach. Imagine all the days of emotion over the last 3 months, right? The emotion of actually winning it, the emotion of the parade, the emotion of each party, each Stanley Cup party. I mean, and then last night you cap it off with the ring ceremony and all that business. I'm looking at the video right now, and each box that carried the ring had its own video. Can you explain the boxes those rings came in?
Yeah, they were incredible. When you open the lid up, the video turns on and starts at the beginning every time, and then you can charge the box. So it's kind of like starts with the video as the clock's ticking down in the final game, and guys are jumping onto the ice celebrating. And it has a bunch of the celebrations in there with some of the individuals on the ice, and then it kind of flips to the team photo at the end that we got on the ice, and then the video resets again and has volume. I mean, they're amazing, and it kind of lights up the whole ring as you turn it on, and the video starts to play.
Is there any appearance of me in the video from any of our interviews that we did over the last year?
I don't know. I'd have to study it a little bit more. Maybe they catch a glimpse of you in the background.
I saw it too. The box, the TV in the box looks nicer than any TV in my house.
Television.
Yeah, it's like I'd like to take it out of the box and just put it on my wall. It's awesome stuff though, Coach. And now here you are. I mean, like you just said. I mean, today is Tuesday. The season opens tomorrow. So, I mean, you talk about putting it behind you and moving on. It came fast and furious. I think it's the second shortest offseason that I can remember. And here you are getting ready to go again. How you feeling?
Yeah, I feel good. Like this is our last day of prep here. We're going to go through a few things on video and have practice this morning. And then we'll have a quick pregame skate tomorrow as well, just to kind of get in our game day routine. We haven't spent a lot of time down at ball, so I want to get in there in the morning. But I feel like the guys are prepared. Like we've had a pretty good camp. We'll have to crank up the competition level within our group now that we're playing a different opponent. It's been an intense camp, a good camp, but nothing over the top. I like the way that we responded in the last two Dallas games in the third period. As things kind of got tight, I started to see the emotion and competitiveness of our group sort of come out in both of the third periods in those games when the games were on the line. So that was a real positive sign, and we'll need it for 60 minutes starting tomorrow night against Chicago and beyond that.
Coach, what is your message to your team as you embark on the defense of the Stanley Cup championship? Because you've had, more than just a real hangover. You've got the emotional hangover of an offseason of just celebration. And you got to forget about all that somehow. You got to pack that emotion aside. What do you say to your players? What do you say to yourself?
Well, we talked about it right in our opening meeting for training camp, and one of the things that, just talking to teams that have won, struggles that they've gone through, obstacles that might be in their way, we looked at it, and number one is you can't forget, because you accomplished your goal, you can't forget how difficult it was to get there. That's the first thing, and I think, at different times, different individuals will forget, and that's why we're a team and a family. We have to keep reminding each other on the way we have to do things. So focusing on our process for success. It's work based. It's a competitiveness and an intensity to our game that we need, on top of just the skill and structure that we play with. So that'll be really important in getting to that area of our game, the want and will, the desire to win on a nightly basis, and bringing out the competitor in each one of us is going to be really important. So the faster we can get to that level, the better off we're going to be, because it's going to be difficult. You look at teams around us; they've all gotten better. I look at our roster even right now after the short off season. We've got a couple guys missing. We have some new guys in the lineup. Guys missing from last year's team, and guys missing even just because of injuries from the short off season that are going to be a little late to the start of our season. So we're going to have to crank it up here in a hurry, and it's going to have to start tomorrow. Our guys are aware of it, and they're up for the challenge, and it's just pushing ourselves to a whole new level here and try to defend the title.
Well, you talked about some of the ins and outs of the lineup. A lot of guys got brought back from last year, but there are a couple of new pieces, and even guys that are familiar faces in new roles. You talked about Alex Newhook the other day and giving him the shot at the second-line center spot. How much belief do you have that he'll take that and really run with it?
A lot. Yeah, a lot. I think he's going to have a big year for us. I just feel like this is his natural progression. We've seen glimpses and flashes and sometimes stretches of it in the past where he's been, highly effective, highly competitive, and he wants the role. And looking at him in training camp, I feel like he's done a really nice job, both 5-on-5 and on the second power play unit. He just looks like a more confident, quicker player. His body's changing, much like a lot of our guys do after they kind of come into the league. Their body kind of matures. They put in a bunch of work to be leaner and faster and stronger, and he looks that way. I think that as time goes on here, that he's gonna prove that he is a number 2 center in this league, and he'll be able to do the job for us here, and we'll be able to rely on him.
Coach, let's get to your goalie real quick. And we did the first game against Dallas. I'm going to get rid of the Vegas game. There were a lot of dudes that aren't here anymore. But he gave up 1 in 2 of those games. And I have to imagine the last contest, actually against Dallas, where he said he looks out at the blue line in front of him and goes, "Oh yeah, I guess that's kind of what I expected, right?" He's got to feel confident with the kind of blue line you have in front of him. But talk about Georgiev getting ready for the season and the opportunity that is presented to him with this particular team.
Yeah, similar to Newhook's position, right? It's an unknown. But the educated guess is that Georgiev is ready to be a number 1 in this league. He's hungry for that opportunity and to prove himself. He's a hard-working guy. Lots of meetings with our goalie coach, UC, and going through things on the ice. He's on the ice before practice, after practice. I know he's hungry to prove it. He's been working all summer long. I think that as you get into a new team and just talking with, say, Gruby when he came, Kemper when he came, it takes a little while to sort of, get in tune with the system, and goalies knowing that if there's going to be a breakdown, where might the scoring chance come from? How does it look within the structure of your team play, And then everything becomes a little bit more predictable and gives them a better chance at making saves, right? So that's where he's at right now, figuring out, if we're in B-zone coverage and we have a breakdown, what might it look like? If we have a breakdown off the rush, what do you think it's going to look like? Because it's going to be a little bit different on every team. So you put our team on the ice in the last 2 Dallas games, and not everybody played, but they were both veteran lineups, and everything becomes a little bit more predictable, and both of our goalies looked really sharp in both of those games, So that's how I expect it to keep improving from that point forward. So I've liked our goaltending through camp here, and it's a nice, healthy competition too. with both guys looking sharp and rested.
Coach, it's going to be a packed house tomorrow night for the opener as expected. And I know this is not your department. Your department is the team and getting the team ready. But can you offer any hints? What can the fans expect? Is there any ceremony before the game? The unfurling of the banner? When does that take place? And what should fans going to the game expect to see?
Yeah, you know what? I don't really know. Yeah, I know there's going to be a ceremony with the banner.
Yeah.
I know it'll be a little bit of a delayed start, but much like the ring ceremony yesterday, I really don't know what's coming. You know, like they'll kind of give me the breakdown on the timetable for tomorrow when I get to the rink. But as of now, I don't know what to expect, and I wanted it that way with the ring too. I hadn't seen mock-ups or anything. It was a complete surprise to me when I saw it. And like I said, it was kind of a surprise to most guys, except for a handful of people from management in the front office had probably seen glimpses of the mock-up. But I like it that way, you know. Like we have a job to do. We'll focus on that. There'll be a X amount of minute delay, and besides that, we're a business, getting to business as fast as we possibly can against Chicago. So, but it'll be another emotional one. You kind of get all the fans in there, share that moment with the fans with the banner going up, I think, and then we got it. That is for sure the final stage of turning the page. Then the puck's going to drop, and away we go.
Will you be wearing the ring? And if not, when do you wear a ring that size?
I think just special occasions. Yeah.
Like when we play golf and stuff like that.
yeah. Like when he's mowing the lawn, he's on his John Deere in the backyard. You know, it's a hood ornament is what it is.
Pick me up whenever I need to pick me up. I'll wear it.
That's
awesome.
right. Hey,
awesome.
Coach, last thing before we let you go. It's that time of year where I ask you injuries. Gabe, Darren Helm, how long are they going to be out?
Yeah, so no timetable on Gabe yet. He's doing better. You know, I think he's going to hit the ice here this week. We'll see just how it goes. You know, we're not rushing that one. We want him to get fully healthy and ready. And Darren Helm is getting close. He's on the ice every day, pretty much, working with Sean Allard, our skating and skills coach. And he hasn't joined the group yet, except for just like a couple drills at the start of practice before we kind of get into the meat of our practice. So I hope he's not going to be long. He's not going to be ready for the opener, but we're hoping that maybe by the weekend that he's starting to join our group and kind of getting ready to play, but we'll see.
That is head coach of the Avs, Jared Bednar, joining us. Coach, if you need somebody to hang on that ring for a few weeks, just go ahead and let me know. Shoot me a text. I got you.
Probably needs a babysitter, absolutely. And I'll see you at skate tomorrow. Got to get to skate, so I'll be there.
Sounds good, fellas. Great talking to you again.
All right, see you, Coach.